September 3rd, 2012, Monday. Just before 0600, Reggie woke first team. Bioforce touched Midas and the others who didn't get enough sleep. Her healing power made it like they had slept just the right amount. Connors opened the door right on cue. He gathered first team and they headed to the pit. Waiting for them in the pit were all the other alphas. Spurs, Smith, A.K.A, and Inferno were helping them all get into gravity workout suits like the ones they wore. First team followed the lead and started getting suited up. Midas changed the floor of the pit to super steel like he did every morning for exercises. Connors made his exercises progressively harder each week. He led the exercises like he did the Friday before. Those who had never done them before found themselves working harder than they ever had. A few that overexerted themselves had to sit down to avoid passing out. During sprints near the end, a few alphas were fortunate to have no food in their stomachs. If they had, it was lost. Exhausted, sweaty alphas all turned their GWSs back into the coaches before returning to their dorms. Midas changed the pit floor back, almost as an afterthought. Connors and Spurs were the last ones to leave the pit. "Brilliant way to get everyone to beg to do extra," Spurs said to Connors. "I can tell my team they have to do it, but I couldn't tell others. None of my guys wanted the others to get training they weren't getting. They came to me minutes after you posted the results of your exercise program. They all want to excel. They just need to be given away." The first lunch was just delivered to first team. Miss Waldron had been split into several Miss Waldrons while teaching. She joined into just one before approaching the food carts. Connors entered the room and quickly made his way to Miss Waldron. "Olympian, front and center." "Yes, Coach?" Olympian said. "I've been looking over your academic work for the last 2 weeks. I believe Miss Waldron is being easy on you. You have a 3 intelligence. You're not stupid and you're not slow. I expect you to do better." "Coach, I dictate the speed of the class, and Olympian may not be coming along as fast as the others, but he's doing well," Miss Waldron said. "I need him to push himself as hard here as he does in the pit. Put him on a schedule you would for someone with a 3 intelligence." Connors turned to look straight at Olympian. "If we talk about this again, I start removing privileges, starting with Sundays at home. Then we move on to punishments. Am I clear?" Olympian knew he hadn't done his best. "I'm sorry, Coach. I'll start working harder. Miss Waldron, whatever schedule you put me on is fine. I'll get done whatever you give me." "Good enough." Connors turned and left the room. Miss Waldron split off one of herself to go after him. In the hallway, after the door closed, she raised her voice at Connors. "This is my classroom. You don't come in here and tell me how to teach my students. Your student wasn't trying hard enough. They all need to learn to put their best into everything they do. Someday, their lives will depend on it," Connors said loud enough for everyone to hear. "Be that as it may, you don't come into my class and show me disrespect like that. Get him up to speed, and I'll apologize," Connors said as he walked away. "You can't apologize now?" she said loudly as he got farther away. "I didn't hear you apologize for not doing your job," Connors said as he walked around the corner. Later, when Connors returned for Coach's class, Miss Waldron had already gone. He set his things on the edge of the raised floor in front of the room and turned to face his team. The stone-cold faces of first team told him something was wrong. "Everyone here thinks I was rude?" Connors asked. "Miss Waldron tutors me every night. She puts in all the extra time I ask her for, without ever complaining," Bioforce said. "Coach, I didn't put the extra effort in. That's my fault, not hers. I'll take care of my academics. Please, make peace with Miss Waldron. She's the best teacher I've ever had," Olympian said. "Than any of us ever had," Darkspeed said. "Jacob, you were homeschooled. You want me to call your mother and tell her that?" Connors said. "Not really, but Miss Waldron really is that good of a teacher," Darkspeed pleaded. "Tell you what. You all promise to always do your best in academics, and I'll apologize to Miss Waldron. Deal?" Darkspeed looked around at his team, especially Olympian. He made sure all the faces agreed. "Speaking for the team, we all promise. Then I'll say I'm sorry, right after your match tonight. Darkspeed, what tactics do you have for this evening?" Darkspeed used his speed to blink to the front of the room and start writing on the white board attached to the wall. "Well, for 8th team, I was thinking of something different. She uses her invisibility power to make Midas invisible and skates him to 8th team's flank here. Olympian targets Saber. I'll target Newton with my fastballs," Darkspeed continued at a quick pace. Now, the hard target is Shroud, but we've been working on that. Bioforce and Virtuoso have been practicing with the end guns at low power to hit She while she's invisible. They use either Bioforce's life-sensing power or Virtuoso's telepathy to track where to shoot. They've started to get pretty good. Bioforce will take the high ground on the opposite side of Midas and She. Saber is the only one who can fly on their team, and Olympian will be after him, so She shouldn't run into him. Unless, Connor said abruptly. No disrespect to the 8th team coach, but Shroud won't be flying with Saber and making him invisible. She'll be doing her own thing. How do you know that? Darkspeed looked sad at what he said next. She isn't really in their planning yet. She's like an unwanted wheel. That's unfortunate. They need to start working together better. Continue. Well, that's pretty much it for our crush, Darkspeed tried to continue. Why do you have She babysitting Midas on the side? Every match you've had, she's taking people out, Connor's question. True, but now that Midas can use his power at a distance, he can bench with a thought. Also, his power doesn't leave a beam or a trail of flames back to him. If he's invisible, you won't know where he is. During the crush, I'm hoping he'll get Greco and then start on the others. Once the fray starts, he'll be in a great position. And if it comes to hunting a hard target, She can always leave Midas. Good plan. What if Newton reverses gravity and you all lose your footing? Connors asked. That's why he's my first target, before he has time to act, Darkspeed said. What if Shroud makes him invisible? What if he hides behind the rack? What if he uses his power during the countdown to make a pile of earth in front of him? We can't plan for all those events, Darkspeed said. Connors walked close to Darkspeed and started pointing at his drawing. Yes, you can. You just need to be more flexible in your planning. Now you're saying this person does one thing and this other person does one thing. Give each team member multiple objectives with different priorities. Here, you target Newton first, then Saber, then you fray. Olympian targets Saber, then Newton, then he frays. Bioforce targets Saber, then Newton, then She frays. Midas targets Newton, then Greco, then he frays. If your target is already out, you move on to your next one. This way, Saber and Newton are each targeted by 2 different angles of attack. Greco is secondary because he's ground-bound and not a fast runner. Ignore Aid and Oracle and pick them up in the fray. What about Virtuoso? Darkspeed asked. I was getting to her. She can effectively bench Shroud by mind-controlling her. But before that, she should set up an illusion that hides your real attack like it did before. Connor stopped and looked at Virtuoso. What did you do before? You didn't see it? Virtuoso asked. Natural mental shield. I don't see illusions, Connor said, pointing at his head. How sad for you. Anyway, what I did was let them see us as we were at the start of the countdown. How about you spice it up? Like, show them dozens of first teams attacking. Like a maze of mirrors attacking. That way, they won't see the real attacks. Just as good as invisibility for all. I could do that and follow it up with mind-controlling Shroud, right? Virtuoso asked. Connors and first team continued to brainstorm tactics and how they would face the other team right up until they had to leave for the match. In the pit, they looked across the way at Saber leading his team.